Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lonnie Horne. Welcome back to my Barber Life channel. First and foremost, please click that subscribe button. Click that like button. Let's grow this together, y'all. Today, I'm gonna do a taper. You see my guy got the curly top, so we're gonna direct all that hair first and foremost. And now I'm gonna start off with my Cocoa clippers. We're gonna do that 1.5 guard. You see that gear is all the way closed. We just gonna debulk, y'all. Knock all that down. Just gonna jump straight into it. Gonna clean it all the way up. He got a little woofy this time. It was a little long, so we decided to go ahead and knock this thing down. Boom. And don't worry about those teeth going up into that long hair. Remember, the teeth of the actual guard, they're not cutting, okay? You gotta pay attention to where the actual blade teeth are at and make sure that that stops right before you get to the hair. I'm gonna knock that front area out because he likes to get that line up in there. Boom. Check him out. Get some of that other stuff out of there because I am gonna dip down a little bit. Gonna do the other side. Knock that front down the same way we did on the right. All right, now I got my Babyliss Effects trimmers. Babyliss. Telling y'all, man, these are my favorite trimmers. Been saying it forever. Y'all, let's do something. All right, so we're gonna taper midway. So I'm just gonna do a little arch right there under his C cup, and I'm gonna make it stop right at the beginning of that ear. Knocked it down into his his beard, because I'm gonna fade that out as well. All right, here we go. Gonna do the same thing at the bottom of that neck area. Boom. Then I'm gonna clean that hair up. Clean that hair up. I flipped the clipper upside down because it's less harsh that way. It's less abrasive on their skin. Don't forget, these are machines, you guys. They can be very abrupt. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Gonna cut that little arch in there from the bottom of that C cup to the front of that ear. Boom. Go ahead and knock the top of that beard down so we can get that hard fade up in there. All right, I got my Braun S9 shavers. It just gets that bald area even tighter, makes it look super clean. So we're gonna go ahead and knock that out. I'm gonna do the same thing in all my other balded areas. I'm real light on the neck though, because necks are usually sensitive. So you see, I'm not gonna go over it multiple times if I could avoid it. All right, let's go ahead and get those cocos back out. I've been really enjoying these clippers. Gonna open them up all the way, and I'm gonna do my first guideline as a number 1 length, okay? And I'm going up maybe about a 1/2 inch. It's somewhere between 1/4 and a 1/2 inch, about 5/8. I don't wanna get too technical on y'all. And now while I got them open, you see what I did with the beard. I went ahead and knocked that down real hard all the way low because I wanna make sure that that's a dramatic fade in the beard, and it'll complement the taper. All right, so I closed it all the way up, and I'm knocking the top of that beard line out. All right, here we go. We're gonna open it up again, make that guideline about a 1/2 inch around. All right, close it up, knock that bottom line out. And you gotta use those corners sometimes. It's just how it goes. All right, so I'm knocking that bottom line out, and I'm gonna open it all the way up and do the same thing with that beard. Put that number 1 length on there, and I'm dropping it all the way down to the bottom of that jawline. And then I close them back up, and we're gonna knock that top out. All right, now we gotta do the back. Same thing, we're gonna open it up, do that number 1 guideline. In the back, we have a little more space to work with, so I may go up closer to 1 inch right here, so I could get a long stretched fade. So it all depends on what you're going for. Some people don't want that long stretch fade. This one, we're going for the long stretch fade. So I am going up about 1 inch, and it may be even 1.25 inches, maybe a little bit more. All right, so now you can see me with the blade all the way closed, knocking that bottom line out. Then now that that bottom line is knocked out, I'm going back up and evening out some of that number 1 guideline. Sometimes you can miss some of that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I go back and forth. I adjust those things a lot. All right, so we got that number 1 guard on. It's time to get into the higher part of this blend. See, I redirected that hair. I opened the blade all the way up, and I'm going for that stretch fade here. So I went ahead and did it all the way open, and with the blade all the way open, I could go a little bit higher. And I'm laying that C-cup area down because I don't want that too bulky, even though I want enough hair there to have some definition when I line it up. All right, we're closing it halfway, and now I'm not going as high right here, okay? So I'm gradually working it down. And as you can see, I'm using the corner of those clippers. All right, now we closed all the way, and it's the same thing we did with the #1 guideline. All right, but I just did it in reverse. Once I got to the bottom, I closed it all the way. All right, we're doing the same thing in the back. Got that 1 on there, all the way open. We're gonna stretch that fade. You can see I'm way more looser when it's all the way open. I'm going higher, getting in there, close it up all the way. Actually, I think that's halfway. Yeah, that was halfway. And I work my way down and all the way till it being closed all the way. All right. Don't worry about it being too perfect along the way. You got to trust the process and know it's going to be fine at the end. A lot of times we want to make sure it's looking good the whole way. That's not how it works, man. It's not how it works. Trust the process. That's why I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you one way, one process. There's many ways you could get to this, but this is the way that I'm doing this particular cut. All right. Now, boom. Got that 1 back on there. Coming back over here, and I'm hitting that beard. So now I'm all the way open, and I'm kind of doing that same step in reverse on the beard. Now in the camera, it looks like he has a little hair there, but I promise you, it's once you line it up, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. We're getting to that design. Don't worry, we're getting there. We're getting there. You gotta make the perfect canvas for the design though. You can't just start cutting lines in people's hair. You want the length to be right and all that good stuff to line up, everything, all right? So now I'm going back and I'm doing a little detail work. I got the cocoa clippers all the way open. Love these things, man. They remind me of when I first got into the barbershop years ago, and when I first put my hands on some Andes Masters. I'm talking about the classics. It's been hard to find anything that has that same fade in action. So for me to pull these cocoa clippers out, man, and to get that experience, I've been really excited to use these. They definitely have been giving my ergos a run. Because I love the ergos. These have been giving my ergos a run for real. They just fade real nice. They get a little warmer. They do get a little warmer, but they just blend nice, man. All right, so now I'm gonna go back. Now that I've done a little detail work, I'm still detailing, and I use that 16th guard. Man, that 16th, y'all, that half, some of y'all may call it, it is, it's just the finishing touch on most fades and tapers, man. It's like right in between your 1.5. It's just that those little hairs I used to have to work out on my own, they kind of do most of them for me. I'll still freestyle some, freehand some, but that knocks a lot of the work out. So I'll go around with that little guard, man, and I'll do all kind of cleanup. All right, you see, we still rocking that 1/16 in that back area now. All right, we all the way open, and I want that graduation to hit harder. So as I say a lot in my tutorials, the back area usually has like the most coarse, do what the hell it want to do on its own type of hair. So usually I have to go a little harder on my steps and my process in the back than I do on the sides. So I'm just gradually closing it. You can follow these steps, but you got to use your eyes though, man. Like I'm looking at this, and I may make the same strokes, but may not get the same results on one side from the other. So I'm going to look at those details and work it in. I'm working it in. Yep, we're working that bottom now. Bam, no guard on there. We're making sure that blend is nice, because this is where he requested his design to be. So I definitely want to make sure this is nice back here. So I'm going with the grain because he has a couple of areas that they just do what they want to do. All right, we're going to do the same thing on this side. Clean this thing up. All right, man. You see that 1/16 ain't no joke, man. It is the finisher. It is really the finisher. I'm closing it now. I'm getting that detail in there. Gotta open it sometime and go a little higher. That's that freehand I'm talking about. You know, you use your eyes. You'll see. You gotta look past the guard. You gotta step back, look at it. And when you see those areas that the clippers are just not having a good time with, those are gonna be your detail areas. You're gonna have to go in and like work the corners and so forth. All right, man, getting that detail in there. Got that number 1 guard all the way open. Hitting some of those stubborn hairs that didn't want to come down. And a lot of people focus on the bottom of the fade where the line is at, but I'm gonna give you a tip. You have to look above that bottom line and you have to check the graduation. You have to see, how is this fade graduating? Is it graduating? Sometimes you making all these strokes and you're working on the bottom line, but you're not making sure the graduation is really, really happening. So sometimes you gotta leave that line alone and you gotta go a little higher and you gotta create the illusion that this hair is blending out evenly and gradually. All right, you know what it is, that 1/16. We gotta work that detail out over here. Go knock that front down. Even though we went over it, we want it to be more even. So that 1/16 going with the grain, and it's giving me what I want. And we ready for the lineup now. So I made my C cup mark where I want to start, and then just start gradually going in that curved shape. And now we're gonna come up to that corner. We're gonna mark that corner, and I'm using the darkest part of that C cup. You know, I know we don't want to push a line back, but the reality is some people just have thinner hair or missing parts of hair. So you want to go to the darkest part of that hair and line that, get that line started. I could always come back and clean it up and fine tune it, but I'm gonna get it in there, and then I'll find my point that I mark. And usually I'm looking at a certain part of the eye that it's in alignment with, and I'll do the other C cup the same. All right, next I'm going around the ear. I'm a old school / new school barber. I'm a hybrid barber, man. I love the line around the ear. A lot of barbers think that, you know, you can't really see it. It's not that important. For me, when I do the ear lineup, it tells me what part of the neck, what angle on the neck lineup makes sense, what fits this particular head. So for me, the ear lineup, it means everything, man. Sometimes you'll take that V too hard, and it looks nice on the cut, but it may not look nice on the grow back. So I like to keep it as natural as possible, but still give it a lot of definition. So right here, I took my comb and I marked that the beginning of the C cup on one side, and I rotated it around the forehead so I can match up where I'm gonna start the next C cup. And then we're gonna do the same thing, man. You go ahead and get that line in there. And I'm gonna start working on this corner. And this side has a little bit thinner hair, so I'm gonna take my time. Take my time and find where I can get the best definition without pushing it back too far. Then we're gonna mark that corner. And now that I found it, I could play around with this a little more. And it's coming together. I'll take that Babyliss Effects trimmer, boy, and start knocking the bottom of that guideline out. We're gonna get that beard lined up. Like I told y'all, it looked like it was no hair there, but you can see that line coming now. All right, we're gonna go around this ear, get that arch going. Now, I threw my number 1 guard on because I did find a little missed bulk back there. So it happens. If you miss something, go back over it, clean it up, get it consistent. A lot of times we'll be lazy and just keep on lining through. That's a true sign of a professional, man. You see something you miss, go back, get it right, and that way you can keep it consistent. All right. Now, like I said, that arch helps me get that that angle right, man. It's just a natural angle, man, when I come off of that arch over that ear. I love the way it falls into that neckline. I'm using just those corners ever so lightly. Be careful. Then I'll flip the clipper over and I'll clean all the excess hair that way instead of scraping it. You don't want to rake the skin. You know, I'll just do the lineup with them flipped over the aggressive way, and then I'll do the cleanup with the clippers, with the trimmers flipped upside down. We're gonna go ahead and line that beard up, man. Gotta get them nice. Gotta get them nice. It's gonna complement that taper big time. Yep, line that neck area. The same thing. I'm gonna flip that trimmer over and kind of gently scoop it out. Now I'm just hitting detail work. The bottom of the taper guideline and the top of the beard guideline. And it's my young guy. His mustache starting to happen. So, you know, I'm gonna get him cleaned up a little bit, get those whiskers nice and tamed. All that detail makes a big difference, man. And I love that long blade on the Babyliss Effects trimmers. It's really cool with mustaches. It kind of helps keep a nice, straight, long, consistent line. And he got those still developing young mustache hairs, so we don't do too much. Throw a couple of lines in the eyebrow for him. You know, we getting them the whole kit, y'all. We getting them the whole kit. And then me, I always line up around the eyebrows. There's something about framing those eyebrows that looks so nice and clean, man. Every piece of detail just complements the haircut. And we're gonna do the same thing on this opposite side. Get my man in the game so we can get on to this design. All right, what I'm doing right here, I usually take my comb and I just make reference marks for myself. I'll take that comb to give me an idea of what my balance is looking like. So he has a kind of, his front lineup kind of has a little wavy thing going on with it naturally. So I don't want to take them too high. I always find the darkest point, and that's where I'm gonna start with. So everything that's light and is thin, I'm gonna go up to the darkest point, and I'm gonna make that my benchmark of where I'm gonna start at. As you can see, it just sets so nice. It looks nice and natural on them. It doesn't look like we pushed anything back, although you do have to bring up some of those wavy areas to match. And now I'm just gonna take my time. Very, very, very small movements. Just come around that forehead and bring it all together. Patience is the key, man. I promise you. Gotta be patient. And I like to use the corner of that blade and make those corners really stand out. All right, so I'm gonna dust my guy off, and it's time to get busy with that design, man. So what I'm doing now is I got him in there, but I'm gonna go ahead and fade that design out. You know, you can throw the lines in, but when you fade it out, it just adds so much more pop to it. So even though I already had it tapered, now I'm going in and I'm re-fading the bottom of the design now that I know where those lines are at. I'm gonna lay some of those hairs down with the grain. Man, that contrast is just, it's just beautiful to me. You leave that top area, that 1.5 real dark, and then blend that bottom out. It just makes it pop. So what I'm gonna do now is take that razor, stretch the skin a little, and you have to patiently just look at what you're doing, okay? You gotta look close and make sure you bring in that blade from the top hard line of the design to the bottom hard line of the design. And be careful to not rest the blade on that skin, because you'll mess up and you won't realize that the part you're working on is good. The part of the blade you're working on is good, but the other part that you're not watching so well, I promise you, it's so easy for it to be slicing somebody's skin up, man. I've been there and done it. Not too bad, but just little nicks here and there. So I don't like it. I take a lot of pride in finishing up a design, a lineup, or a bald head shave with a razor and just having little to no nicks if possible. It's like a challenge I give myself. I really, really feel proud when I can get somebody through without having any nicks whatsoever. Or if it happens, I mean something so small, it's almost not even, visible. Those arches are tricky. The arches are tricky. That is something that definitely takes some practice. And you just have to really finesse this blade, man. You have to understand that with the slightest bit of aggression, boy, you can really pierce and slice some skin, all right? But once you get it, I swear, man, that blade, it brings the whole thing out. It's a game changer. I used to do designs with no blades. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You could get them pretty clean without the blade. I won't even front, like seriously. But I can't lie, man. You add that blade in, it just graduates it to a whole nother level. So the funny thing is, I've been really being transparent on my haircuts, my designs, everything. Just being transparent, man. I don't want to attract anybody to my channel, and I'm just selling tickets. That ain't my style. And I will say, when I look back at my designs, I like to document them, not just for you all. I like to document them for myself, because you could work a design multiple times, man, and develop it. My boy, he does this Louis design, and he does it over and over and over. But every time he does it a little different, with a little different twist on it. So something like this, I look at it and I already see things I would change on it. But I still like it. I definitely like it, but I see a couple of things I would change. I would end it differently on the right side of the head. And I like the dramatic loops, but I may come just a little bit shorter on the loops. It just adds something to it. But overall, I like it. I'm not mad at it at all. So yeah, keep doing your designs over and over, because they're worth developing. They're definitely worth developing. Now I'm going opposite way and hitting that top line just a little bit. Very small strokes. All right, so I got my trimmer. I saw a little bit in this arch, just a little bit of inconsistency there. So I will go back and clean that thing up, because that blade is kind of, moving those longer hairs around. And again, man, I just want it to pop. Hit those corners too. And another good trick is to take a picture. You look in your camera on your phone, man, oh my goodness, you'll see it in a way your eyes could have never seen it. All right, we're still working with that blade. Gonna clean that line up a little bit. We want that to pop too. The trimmers will do real good, but man, that blade, oh my goodness. It just gets you as close as possible in your balded areas. And then again, me personally, just my thing, I like to go over it with the trimmers again, because those longer hairs do get moved around a little bit. And I just want to make sure that, man, when you look at this thing, boy, it's just popping. When he walk out this shop, it's popping like that. That's my goal. All right, and that's it, man. I'm gonna give my guy a mirror, see if we get that approval or not. I gotta show him how to see his design in third person. Sometimes people don't know how to see it. I love to show it. I love to show him how to really see it. Yeah, there go that smile. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. This is my Barber Life channel, man. Like, subscribe, share, please. Let's grow together.